The funny thing about rejection, as a leader, you will be rejected. So I talk about rejection a little bit different. When you reject somebody, it's you rejecting you. When you are twisted by somebody's message or teaching style, that's you rejecting the thing. But it's also you possibly rejecting you because you're not willing to receive it. You're also not willing to go through the energies and emotions that twisted you and bundled you up. And the best way that I've found that this energy gets communicated with others is by saying simply this. Imagine that you are going to the Sadie Hawkins dance and you've had a boy that you've been admiring and looking at and wanting to invite, and this is your excuse to invite them. And you go up to that boy and you go, "Do you want to go to Sadie Hawkins dance with me?" And you just say it as fast as you can because you finally got up the courage to do it. And we don't know, you don't know yet, did he reject you or not? But how do you feel when you don't go into something with courage, right? So by doing a little whisper, like maybe he didn't even hear me, that's the first thing where you've already made maybe a conclusion and maybe you've rejected you. So how many spaces and places within your courage arsenal could you pull upon now to get the courage to be the leader that you are? And everything that doesn't allow that, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate? And take a breath. How many frequencies of courage and leadership from others and the world and as an infinite being can you pull in and invite to create this courage moving forward as a leader in your business? And anything that doesn't allow that, would you destroy and uncreate? And take a breath. Okay, so scenario one, the boy is thrilled that you asked and he wants to go with you. Okay, so then great, you've just been validated and you're going to the dance, right? And you know, there's probably some bubbles of excitement, champagne bubbles going on inside as you move forward in planning the dress and, you know, even possibly starting a new relationship. Okay. So then that kind of situation where you get validated and you get yeses does often bode or buy or allow you to have more confidence. Okay. So we talk courage and confidence in the area of rejection. So then the other thing that could happen is the boy could go, no, I'm not going. No, he could make an excuse, right? No, somebody else already asked. Or he could be brutal and say, no, I'm not interested in you, which could then you be hit with rejection darts right into your heart. Or it's sort of like that's all about him and you are still you. And then you choose to go on as if nothing happened, or you can go on and choose, well, in these situations, I'm rejected and I don't want to be rejected, so I'm going to avoid it. So how many places and spaces are you avoiding being rejected? And because you're being rejected, you are not showing up as the leader. And everything that is, would you destroy and uncreate? And take a breath. And take another one. So then here's another story. So imagine it's New Year's Eve and you just kind of want to happenstance, kiss somebody on New Year's Eve. Maybe you didn't bring a date, but you still have your eye on someone, and New Year's Eve and the ball dropping, it gives you a perfect excuse. So maybe you go up to the guy and start a conversation. Maybe you attempt to kiss him right at midnight, and he rejects you. What does that mean about you? It doesn't mean anything. It's only one person's point of view. So everywhere where you've made it this big universe a thing, instead of rejection actually being that moment where you can receive you, would you destroy and uncreate? And take a breath. Okay, last little story, and then we'll move forward, and I'll see how y'all are doing on the feed. If anything is coming up, I would love for you to talk about it. If you want to discuss on this call today. So last situation. So maybe somebody has their eye on you and they want to kiss you on New Year's Eve, and you do the rejecting. What energy comes up then? Would it be just a choice? Would it be empowerment? Would you then do guilt and feel bad because you rejected them? And all the energies that come up around this. And when you're in situations where people are rejecting you, would you now remember these choices, these stories, and allow rejection to just be a choice on someone else's part or choice on your part? Anything that doesn't allow you to be in total choice around rejection, would you destroy and uncreate? And take a breath. Total choice about rejection. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you. Hi, Sharon. I'm reading some of the comments in the feed. Sharon says that for me, the fear of rejection and not showing up as a leader instead of stepping into being an infinite being is a huge thing. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes courage is just commenting on a feed, right? Or liking a feed, or giving an emoji on a feed, right? Because your like to something could also be somebody rejecting you, right? If you like a Democratic Party and somebody who's close to you that's Republican doesn't like that, then they could totally reject you, right? Take you totally out of their world. But that's their choice, and it's your choice. Which segues me into talking a little bit about real, like, infinite beingness around this, as well as creation and judgment. And what I mean by that is Gary Douglas once said something to the extent of this. If I wrote it down, so I kind of got the pieces correct. When you create something, you go into judgment to see whether it's a good effect or a bad effect. Like whatever choice you make, usually you go into this like dialogue, or if this will make a good impact or a bad impact, right? And he's like, so what difference does it make? The real question is, will this expand my agenda? And will it expand the people's agenda that it's reaching? So the question that we should be asking around choices that we're making to show up as a leader and other things in our business is, will it expand our agenda, right? Whether it's a negative or a positive thing, it's just simply doesn't matter what the polarity is. If it'll expand the agenda and change lives, then you would choose it. So, all right. Faith says, I'm having some difficulty staying in courage and confidence while repeatedly asking a former client to show me the money that she owes me. I would love to shift my energy and have things show up with ease instead of coming from fear. And I guess that's also goes into kind of a little more of the conversation on lack instead of abundance. So let's talk a little bit specifically for that client. So when a transaction is made, right, there's an agreement before it's made, right? So those kind of agreements, or payment in advance is even a better agreement, is the best way to do business, right? Like, so basically she is stealing from you when she doesn't pay you. So invoice, like a physical invoice, don't ask for it, email a physical invoice and do it consistently, like every 2 to 3 days. Ask for when it will be paid, right? But be impeccable about asking, because it's the same sort of ask as if you're asking the universe. Ask these other beings. And who else in the energetic infinite world could contribute to her taking action on this? And anything that doesn't allow that would you destroy and then create. And take a breath. Does it have anything to do with you concluding something about you? Would be my question. And let's clear what that is about you concluding something about you. Is it about the money, or is it about you rejecting you because you conclude that the work wasn't good enough, or you're not good enough, or they never intended to pay you in the first place and you should have been aware of that? Like, there's a ton of things where in this situation you could be rejecting you, but it could also be that there's also some like conclusions there that's keeping you from really receiving it, right? Both the awareness and the money. So just a couple thoughts around that. Who else has a thought about confidence, courage, leadership, right? Or let's talk now about your mess and your message. This is, my husband for Christmas, he gave me this app. It's like called Masterclass. And it has like all these like great leaders. And I ended up stumbling on one of them that was talking about your mess and your message. And once I heard it, I like went like 7 layers deep on it, right? Like, you know, there's value in sharing your mess because you can get help with it. You can get emotional support with it, right? But there's also, I really avoided the people that go on and have these vulnerable shares and they're crying, and then like you realize that it's like something stupid that they're in this trauma and drama about. And you know, I also get that there are situations where people just need to express themselves, and that, you know, and that works for them. I think as a business owner, we need to lead with the courage and the confidence to, you know, own it, right? To say, you know, I realize I'm overreacting about this, and then share the vulnerable share, right? Realize that you're not always, you know, just you, the beautiful greatness, infinite being. When you know, do pathetic, that may be a place where you don't want to vulnerably share. Just a thought first. And I also think that every time that we're in some mess, especially if it's something like my freaking list shut me down and the Facebook Messenger shut me down, I'm just disobeying all these rules. But you know, it's I think that these shutdowns, by me sharing, you guys can learn and avoid them too. So when I'm talking about mess and message, I'm talking about what is your mess that you could actually help other people with if you would share it. Okay. Diane says, I tend to not speak up. Right. Well, I tend to not speak up too, because sometimes I don't have a point of view. I'm just like, that's just dumb that you're even like going down that rabbit hole. So I tend to like get out of those conversations. And I also like, by the time that I talk about it, it's already resolved and it's like in the past, and then I'm just done with it too. So I get that. So Diane, why don't you tell me more about that? I tend to not speak up, right? Is there a why under that? And we can go into my new 7-layer dip deluxe. I I kind of took that whying 7 layers down, and then I got an awareness about it. So I'll share in a minute. But Diane, tell me about what the not speak up is about. And as you do, I'll go into the whying it. So she says, I tend to not speak up. So then my question would be, why? Right? And maybe it's, hopefully she'll answer soon, but maybe it's because I want to hide, right? Let's just assume that. Okay, so why? Why do you want to hide? Because I don't feel good enough, right? Well, why don't you feel good enough? And it could come to because I haven't done it before, right? I actually don't have the skill. So, okay, great. So how do you get the skill, or why don't you have the skill, right? Which would lead into the next how step. And then you're in the space of like this infinite clarity. Okay, here's what I'm choosing next. And then you go into making it deluxe, right? So in making it deluxe is, how will that make you feel, right? So that you are aware of the feelings, and then dimensionalize it, right? Take it into the infinite multi-dimensional being that you are. And then you can go back to the, I tend not to speak up, or I tend to not speak, right? Could also be what it would be done on. And then you get to, oh, here's the essence of really choosing to speak up. Here's the essence and the feelings and sensations of really being the leader, right? And in NLP, which I was certified in years ago, you can do like little anchors. So sometimes when you get to an awareness like that, when you tend to do something, which means it's a habit or routine that you're doing that you'd like to change, would be to, do some, taps, maybe like a heart tap, or sometimes like I would do like a chopstick or something. So you might want to do something that reminds you of that like big ball of essence energy that you can pull in, right? When and what you wrote was those around courage, right? So some of the anchors to bring in, to remind you, I am courage, right? I will be rejected, right? And and those of the ones that want to come, right? Those of the ones that don't, and that's fine. So that's the 7-layer dip deluxe. And so you can do this, like, I'm having a lot of fun with this. You can do it like in so many different areas of your life, right? Because you can do it in your vision, right? Like say what will my body feel like, or it's sort of like whying down why I want to release that 20 pounds, right? Which is now like 18. I'm on a workout every day this month challenge. And I've been kind of, watching my watch as all the circles fill up on the Apple Watch when you have a daily workout. And I'm thinking, gosh, I didn't have a full month of working out every day all year last year. And I was thinking, well, that's going to make some sort of impact. Let's see how I feel at the end of February. And then maybe I'll maybe that's my thing. I just work out every day. And then, you know, and then we start to add something in, and then I start eating more vegetables, where I make sure I eat a vegetable every day, right? Instead of just burgers and fries. So I think that, the fun in me doing this and doing this as a group is, every day is an exploration, right? It's like, I'm going to try this. I'm going to challenge myself, and then I'm going to share the experiment with you, right? So, Rama says she's been working out every day and she's on day 29. Geez. Well, I am on day 9. And I might have worked out like the 31st of January, but I started February 1st, so I'm counting from that. Yeah. She says February is a good month to do no alcohol. Same reason, right? Yeah, I think that I'm finding a love relationship with alcohol, not alcohol, and not too much alcohol. So now my thing is just keep it to a 3-drink limit. So can I do a 3-drink limit every day the days that I drink in February, which hopefully won't be every day. I'm just kidding. I don't think it so far it hasn't been. But I think that would be my rule or my routine around that. Love that. Roma says, I've never done daily before. So now it's not a choice. It's just what I do, right? I think it's sort of like you get up and brush your teeth every day, right? So, why wouldn't I just get up and exercise every day, or drink my 32 ounces of water every day, or, nurture my garden, because I love to use that as a metaphor. So she says February is the month to go dry, as it's the shortest. LOL. Cool. Funny. So yeah, what kind of things do you want to challenge yourself in this month, right? Or next month? Or what are you gearing up to add to your routines that might possibly change your life forever, because you've changed your health, you've changed your mood, you've changed your entire vibe? What might yours be? And how could you use, Quest or the accelerator to, really practice these ways of life? I mean, here we're meeting every Tuesday, and on Zoom for coaching the third Thursday of every month. So it'd be a perfect check-in to challenge yourself to reach these goals or these milestones or lighthouses. So just some thought around that. Rama says the new moon is the 11th. So start a new cycle. So you've got 2 days to get yourself in gear, guys, because you can start it on the new moon too. You don't have to wait till the next month. So how does it get any better than that? Okay. So next, your mess and your message. How can you use your mess and openly share it as helping people get out of the struggle of, well, if I'm sharing about the struggle of moving my list, that is, might help somebody, not hit that obstacle, which ultimately is helping them grow their business. So how can my mess and my message go, see it goes hand in hand? Yeah. My mess is list problems. My messages help you grow your business, right? Which is sort of productivity. What like a physical mess, right? Diane says, I want a very clean house. It's 3,500 square feet and always seems to need dusting and cleaning. So really thorough in my 30-day plan. Very cool. So there she's got a daily habit too, where she's always, has a time block where she is creating a greater world and environment for herself, or she hires somebody to do that too. Faith said, new moon, Chinese New Year. Lots of chances to start something new in February instead of being stuck in Groundhog Day all month, all year, right? It was funny, on Groundhog Day, I actually said that. I was like, dude, it has sort of been like Groundhog Day, right? Because I, kind of made my life work from my home. Technically, I wouldn't even need to leave my home other than to get curbside grocery pickup. I do leave it more than that, but if you've got the, routines that aren't working for you and they're driving you down, you do feel like a groundhog. If you've got routines that are working for you, well, then you're the king of the world. Diane's like, duh, hire someone. Yeah, we have weekly cleaning service because I don't clean. And I've got 2 big dogs. So, except I got a new Legree machine, an exercise machine in my house, and I will clean around it. And I stay organized, right? I have like things orderly in my life. Okay, so mass message. Okay, we went through the 7-layer dip deluxe. Let me just kind of briefly go through that again, just in case we want to, clip this part of the video. So take one thing that you are actively working on, right? Or you're asking of the universe, like one thing, take one thing. It could be that, change in a habit. It could be change in your body. It could be, change in your business, right? Take that one thing and really get kind of the grace of it, like what it's going to be like at the end of it, right? The goal, right? Really get that. And then now take yourself out to where you are, where that feels like it is it, right? It's like, I have it. And then now today, like kind of just weigh it. Like it's a little heavier today because you don't have it yet. And there's going to be effort involved in growing it, right? So just get the energy of that. Now let's start from the end, right? The end that you have it. So you've got the business with the $5,000 monthly income or $100,000 monthly income, right? You have it, right? Okay. And you can also weigh it. So like when I said 5,000 a month, it was like, I'm guessing that wasn't just my energy, but when I said 100,000 a month, it's like got a lot lighter. But if I would say 200,000 a month, for me, it gets a little heavier. So there's something that I'm more aligned with around 100,000. If I'd say $1 million a month, it almost seems like in my energetic system, like fantasy, right? And possibly not even one of my goals, right? So you can kind of, weigh out like how the vibe is aligned, right? So when you get that like really solid aligned vibe, I want you to go, okay, so this 100,000 a month. So why that? Why do I want that? And for me, because it would make me, for the selfish reason, right? Because I want the money to play with to create more. Then, okay, because it would impact a lot of people. I'm aware of that. Because my message would get out there and it would change lives, because I'd have more community and play, right? Because it would expand my life, right? These are the whys. Okay, so with each of those, and let's just go on to expand my life. So why do I want my life expanded, right? It's good now. I get up and I comb my hair and I show up on Zoom, right? It's good. Why do I want that, right? Why do I want this expanded life with these more life experiences, right? Why do I want that? How would it make me feel? So the deluxe is to go into the feeling of it, right? It'd make me feel really alive, right? We got that before, but we got that through why instead of feeling. But why do you want to feel really alive? So it makes me feel really embodied. It makes it feel like flow and play and freedom and all that juiciness. Okay. So dimensionalize that. So flow, freedom as an infinite being. And what if that flow and freedom you'd share, right? Share to all these people and all this land and beyond, right? The physical into all the energies that we are as an infinite being. That's the 7-layer dip deluxe.